What? I got 141 and 2/3 chance of winning at Sacrifice. Woo!
Wrestling Podcast. Let's go to start with this. He is broken in half.
And you are just a buck-toothed nepo baby who ate dog food for a weird old man.
Yeah.
Just when they think they got the answers, I change the questions.
Did he do it? Cover!
Oh, and a kick out.
Unbelievable.
I will never retire.
I'm too hot to handle and too cold to hold. And I am the Macho King Randy Savage.
Shut your mouth, you thong-wearing fatty.
It's me, Austin. Whoa!
Bang! Jacob 5-2 is all gas. No brakes with it. Yada mean fire.
I said WWE stands for.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hey, yo, Pro Wrestling Podcast listeners, welcome to the show where we don't sing it, we bring it. Help us out and click subscribe to show your support. Are you sick and tired of dropping $60 to $100 for the latest and greatest wrestling video game? Stop immediately. Go to Wrestler Unstoppable, available totally free. Create a wrestler, sign contracts, get into storyline, headline PLEs, even build your own corporation from the ground up, all included in Wrestler Unstoppable, available now totally free at app.wrestlerunstoppable.com. If you want to become a member of the Pro Wrestling Podcast family, you want your name in the shoutouts like John and Emily, then you got to pop by our Patreon page at patreon.com/Pro Wrestling Podcast. Sign up today, and don't forget we've got loyalty rewards. If you are a $15 a month contributor, you get to co-host a show with me, $7.50 a month. We'll enter you into a drawing to also co-host one with myself. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of the Pro Wrestling Podcast. If you've got questions, comments, anything you'd like us to talk about, potentially in a future episode, then you got to give me a shout. You got to give me a call. The Pro Wrestling Sound Off line, 267-642-1160, and give me those questions, comments, and concerns, and I will get to those in a future episode. Tonight, jumping into the day's news and rumor, Keith Lee in the news, conversation about what he's up to, where he's been at, backstage update, various outlets reporting that Keith Lee has been in discussions with some of the creative in AEW for a return to television, but that nothing has materialized. As a matter of fact, one person talking about quote, if it made it back to him or not, about whether or not people in the creative team were talking about his return being discussed internally. And at this point, he's been out of the ring since December 2023. It's a significant amount of time, 2.5 years to take off, to not be active, and there were some serious health concerns. And normally when a wrestler's coming back from a medical situation in AEW, they go through a medical clearance process, and somehow that always seems to leak out. There's been no word of that. And that usually happens within, the couple weeks before the wrestler actually returns to action. So we haven't heard that, but there is definitely interest in Keith Lee coming back to the company. He is still under contract, and I would imagine, especially the way certain things are with AEW and WWE, that when somebody gets hurt, they add injury time to their contract. So he's going to be there for the foreseeable future. So you would think they'd want to get some kind of return on their investment because they have to be paying him a downside guarantee either way. So definitely something to keep an eye on, and you would imagine he would have to be back at some point. Now, there was conversation that he may have been, they may have been considering bringing him back earlier in the year for, I believe it was for, as a TNT Championship Challenger. At one of the shows, and I forget which show it was. There was a report out. Let me see here. Who was the report by? This one here is eWrestling News, talking about how there were some discussions, tentative creative plans, and that they would have happened by now if they were as they were originally intended. So apparently, whatever discussions they had haven't gone far enough to actually get him back in the ring. So again, it's something to continue to monitor. Somebody who is leaving one place, starting a new one. The news broke, yesterday that Steve Maclin had asked for his release from TNA Wrestling. They came to terms with his release, and now he, essentially was going to become a free agent, and that did not last very long. he has signed a multi-fight deal with Produce Wrestling, which is an independent company who was also in the news earlier in the week because they have now signed on to be on the streaming network for AEW. So even though, I mean, look, so you had Steve Maclin and actually Mila Grace also both of them got their release from TNA. This is an opportunity for him to go someplace. Jonathan Gresham is organizing the first big show for Produce that will take place on that AEW streaming platform. But then having a talent like this come in lends instant credibility to that company. And again, because it's a multi-fight deal, you have to wonder how things will play out long term. If this is a worthwhile venture, this Produce Wrestling, their show's going to take place in Jersey City, New Jersey, Garden State, representing because Steve Maclin is from New Jersey. So we'll have to wait and see how things happen. It's going to be Produce Volume 2. I can't even pronounce this, Tiger Style, at the White Eagle Hall in New Jersey. So, hopefully he has found his next home and it's very successful, because I never think there could be enough options in the world of professional wrestling. I'm actually shocked AEW or WWE didn't jump in to sign him right away. The guy is clearly a very talented guy. Now, somebody who WWE is jumping on board is, and it's not new news. We've heard that Mike Santana's contract is coming up sometime this summer, and it sounds as though the reigning TNA World Champion has been very open to the possibility of moving over to WWE. They are very thrilled with all his appearances he made during that whole invasion angle they did. But according to a report from False Finish, sources within WWE do expect Santana will let his TNA contract expire this year rather than signing a new deal, and the belief being that he is WWE bound once free agency opens up. So, look, he's done everything he can possibly do to try to help that brand out. I think that when they first made the move to the new network, I think there was some great buzz around them, but I think they've kind of fizzled in some ways since on AMC. I think he has greener pastures in mind. He's already been to AEW. I don't want to say burnt some bridges there, but certainly doesn't have a clear pathway back there. So WWE seems like a logical destination. I really don't see him leaving to go to Japan or something like that, or going to CMLL or anything like that. So WWE makes a lot of sense, and I wish him well. I hope he does phenomenally in WWE, and he can really bring something. This Mike Santana is he's starting to get the appreciation he deserves, but still in a lot of ways is underappreciated. What an incredible talent, and kudos for him for taking the opportunity to really put himself out there as a single star, establish himself, and look great doing it. So the WWE is now interested. I got two things left for you. Let's go to the NWA for a second. The NWA doesn't get a lot of love on our show here, but I want to give a little bit of love to Alex Misery, their new NWA World Television Champion. I say that seriously and with a tongue-in-cheek, and here's why. I'm thrilled for Alex Misery. I'm thrilled that he's the NWA World Television Champion. I hope he uses that to springboard, catapult himself to a higher position in the wrestling world. But here's what I'm having trouble with, right? If you look at their most recent set of tapings, or an NWA Power on June 6th, you had a scramble match for the World Television Championship. Alex Misery, Lockjaw Drake, Daisy Kill, Wrecking Ball Legursky, and Jack to win a vacant championship. I couldn't tell you who any of those people are, okay? And I'm a diehard fan, but I don't watch the NWA because I've seen something happen. Let me just do this. Let's go right down the card real quick. Carson Drake chokes out a trainee. Silas Mason jumps in. Carnage defeats Big Strong Mims. Greta does something with the Carson Drake podcast. NWA United States Tag Team Champions, the Slime Balls, defeated Jack Valor and Eddie Grayson. There is a Trevor Murdoch video package, who, if you don't know, Trevor Murdoch recently retired. Then Silas Mason has a vignette with Kerry Morton. Tom Latimer talks some trash on El Dragon Nihan. Tommy Hendry had a spot with Kenzie Page and Kylie Page. Greta defeated Natalia Markova. And Tiffany Nieves attacked Markova until Giselle Shar came out to make the save. Now, why did I just give you all those results? Here's why. When the NWA reintroduced themselves under the leadership of Billy Corgan, you had people like Eli Drake, a.k.a. L.A. Knight, who went into the company. They had people like Mr. Anderson. They had Trevor Murdoch. They had they had names. Let's just go that way. They had names, and they started to grow some of their own talent. But at this point, they've allowed so many of those names to walk away. Nick Aldis was their champion for the longest time. Tim Storm, who wasn't necessarily a major internationally known name, but was NWA champion for an extended period of time, brought some credibility to their company. But now, what do you have? Like the Rock and Roll Express went through for a while and stuff like that, but there's almost nobody on that list of their entire tapings that most people would know. And what is the goal? Is Billy Corgan just doing this for fun, paying low wages so that everybody leaves and goes elsewhere as soon as their contracts are up or whatever? Or is he legitimately trying to run this as a business that could be a functioning third or fourth or fifth? I don't even know where number you'd put him in the hierarchy of wrestling companies in the world right now. Is he trying to make a go of this? Because if you're trying to make a go, you spend some more money and you get people like a Steve Maclin. You spend some more money and you bring in people like when you have free agents like, I don't want to say every name that pops up that comes down the line from WWE's like roster cuts, but like you go after some of those WWE roster cuts. Whoever they are, I don't care who it is. You go for those guys, but it brings credibility to your brand, puts eyes on your product, and gets you a better chance to get television deals, distribution, all that kind of stuff. I don't understand what has happened with the company where it used to, in my opinion, it looked wonderful. It had that old school feel, the original NWA feel to it, and it just seems to be tapering off, and I don't want to see that happen. I want to see this company rise. Tyrus, who's on Fox News like every week, was their champion for a while. That was great exposure. It's like in the last year or so, it's just torpedoed, and it's a shame because there's some really talented people in that company. Tom Latimer is incredible, former NWA World Champion. Giselle Shaw has a little bit of a name for it with her time from TNA and stuff like that. But when you start talking about the Alex Miseries, the Lockjaw Drakes, and stuff like that, no disrespect to them. They're great workers. And if you don't believe me, go look up NWA Power and watch them. These guys can go. But you got to have some mainstream names in there with them. So not only do you put eyes on the prize, eyes on your product, but these guys get to work with somebody who's so well established that they then look even better. I want to see them all succeed, and I don't want people to perceive the company as second rate because we're not bringing any premium talent like a Steve Maclin or whatever. So, and then speaking of WWE cuts, the last thing I'll get to tonight is Apollo Crews. He is being featured on an episode of LFG, and he's mentoring Elijah Holyfield, and there's this whole thing going on with the two of them, and he wants to do more with him. My problem is they released Apollo Crews. So now you've got him on television for LFG Season 3 while he's no longer with the company, and apparently he's there for multiple episodes, apparently. And now he's at the point where he's going to be a free agent very, very shortly. So are you going to have a situation where he'll be on LFG for WWE but could show up in AEW because he'd be a great fit in AEW? Or does he go to TNA? Or does he go down to CMLL? Or does he go on the indie scene or whatever? And here you got a WWE main show, LFG, and I don't care what anybody says. LFG is a great show. If you don't watch, if you're trash talk about it, you haven't actually watched a full season. I don't mean one episode here and there so you don't get the full feel of it and you crap talk on it. Now, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about watching the full season. I've seen every episode of Season 1 and Season 2. They're solid. They really are, especially when you consider what they are. So when we see this, I don't love seeing WWE talent show up on a television show while they could show up elsewhere. WWE's planning and the people who are deciding who's getting cut and whatnot should have known this information before they cut somebody. Wait until after the show airs to cut somebody because you look stupid having somebody who's not under contract be featured on one of your television programs after the fact. Just my opinion. That's all the time we have for this episode. Check back with us next episode. Run down the latest wrestling news and rumors. Special thanks, as always, to Suno for creating the music and sound effects we use in the show. Today's show is sponsored in part by Beazle Games. Bring a new friend to family game night. It's easy with Sketchy people. Showcase your artistic side in this game from Beazle Games by going to thegamecrafter.com and picking up your copy today. If you're looking for your next career move, maybe you're considering college or university life, maybe you just need some formal training for your next career decision, go to our website at frolifeplanning.com for all your higher education needs, as Fro Life Educational Planning is for today, for tomorrow, and for life with Fro Life. I'm Fred Froelich, better known as Dr. Fro. I want to thank you for taking some time with us today. Until next time, take care, everybody. Have a great night.